1. Representative Strickland unveils bipartisan plan to combat extreme heat in cities. 2. Why extreme heat isn't a disaster, yet lawmakers push for change. 3. Extreme heat, a major disaster in Las Vegas. 1. Representative Strickland unveils bipartisan plan to combat extreme heat in cities. Representative Marilyn Strickland presented a bipartisan initiative titled the Cool Corridors Act aimed at mitigating the effects of extreme heat in urban areas. As part of our Connect to Congress series, we spoke with her about how this legislation seeks to address climate challenges in densely populated regions. The goal of the bill is to provide urban planners and policymakers with actionable strategies to reduce heat-related risks and improve public well-being. KOMO News. 2. Why extreme heat isn't a disaster, yet lawmakers push for change. In an unprecedented move, the scorching heat dome of June that shattered temperature records is now under consideration by legislators to be classified as a disaster. As of 2025, President Trump has issued 27 major disaster declarations, encompassing a wide array of calamities from wildfires in Los Angeles to tornadoes in the Midwest and flooding in Texas, along with several winter storms. These disasters have led to loss of life and caused billions in property and business damages. However, one significant weather event that took place in June, an intense heat wave, has yet to be declared a disaster. From June 20th to 24th, a heat dome, characterized by a prolonged period of extreme heat over a region, subjected nearly half of the country to perilously high temperatures. On June 24th, 7 states either matched or broke their monthly high temperature records, with many surpassing the 100-degree mark. Maryland, one of these states, reported that 472 individuals required medical attention for heat-related illnesses during this period, when the heat index exceeded 110 degrees in certain areas. Yet, this event is not listed as a disaster on the FEMA website. This is due to the fact that extreme heat is not recognized as a disaster eligible for federal funding under the Stafford Act, the law that dictates when and how the president can declare disasters and instruct the Federal Emergency Management Agency to provide aid to state and local governments. However, this might soon change. 3 Democratic lawmakers, Senators Jackie Rosen of Nevada and Ruben Gallego of Arizona, along with Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia of Texas, are pushing for legislation to categorize extreme heat as a disaster. This would enable federal funds to be directed to areas where high temperatures cause significant physical and economic harm. Republican Representative Mike Lawler of New York has also joined as a co-sponsor. Rosen, in a statement, highlighted that over 500 people died in a single county in Nevada from heat-related illnesses last year. She criticized the current federal policy for overlooking the health risks posed by extremely high temperatures, and is introducing a bill to rectify this. By recognizing extreme heat as a major disaster, communities would be able to access the federal funding necessary to respond to and prepare for future extreme heat events. This isn't Rosen's first attempt at passing such legislation. She proposed a similar bill in 2024 that quickly passed through the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, only to be blocked by a Senate Republican. The Stafford Act currently lists 16 types of natural disasters, but does not explicitly include extreme heat. Gallego, in a statement, pointed out that extreme heat kills more Americans than any other form of extreme weather incident, according to the National Weather Service. He believes that adding extreme heat to FEMA's list of major disasters would unlock the necessary funds and support for communities in need. Rosen's office suggests that declaring extreme heat a major disaster would allow states and local governments to request federal funds for additional cooling centers, air conditioning for communities in need, water infrastructure projects, and heat adaptation projects like planting more trees or building shade structures to mitigate urban heat. However, not everyone agrees with adding extreme heat to the Stafford Act. Deanne Criswell, the former FEMA administrator under President Biden, argues that extreme heat is already eligible under the Stafford Act and that a governor can request a declaration for extreme heat. There have been 3 previous instances when a governor requested a major disaster declaration for extreme heat, but all were denied by the sitting president. Criswell believes that the Stafford Act is designed to cover infrastructure damages caused by a natural disaster, and most resources needed for extreme heat, such as cooling centers, tree shade, and air conditioning, can be addressed ahead of an extreme heat event through existing hazard mitigation grants. While Criswell doesn't see the need for extreme heat to be added to the Stafford Act to qualify for disaster funding, she does believe there needs to be a greater emphasis on supporting hazard mitigation projects and funding, which have been subject to cuts under the Trump administration. The White House has not commented on extreme heat being added as a disaster risk, and President Trump has focused on overhauling FEMA and shifting disaster response and recovery to states. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration recently concluded a series of public hearings as it debates whether to institute the first federal rule to protect indoor and outdoor workers from heat, which would mandate employers provide paid breaks, water, and shade. The rule has faced criticism from business groups, including the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which says the rule would impose unreasonable burdens. Business groups have backed efforts in some Republican-led states, like Florida and Texas, to block local municipalities from passing heat protection rules for workers. Despite the pushback, 7 states, Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Colorado, Minnesota, and Maryland, have adopted independent heat protection rules for workers, but significant federal legislation to address extreme heat, both in the workplace and for disaster declarations, remains an uphill battle for Democrats. 3. Extreme heat, a major disaster in Las Vegas. Imagine enduring the most scorching summer Las Vegas has ever experienced. In response to this extreme heat, Nevada's Democratic Senator Jackie Rosen is taking action by proposing a new piece of legislation aimed at recognizing extreme heat as a major disaster. This proposed law, known as the Extreme Heat Emergency Act, seeks to include extreme temperatures in the list of disasters that qualify for federal assistance. Currently, the president can declare disasters for events like fires, floods, and hurricanes, but extreme heat is not yet on that list. This summer alone, Southern Nevada has witnessed the tragic loss of 29 lives due to heat-related illnesses, according to a spokesperson from Clark County. Senator Rosen highlighted a concerning statistic from last year, where over 500 individuals in a single Nevada county succumbed to heat-related conditions. She emphasized that existing federal policies overlook the significant physical and health risks posed by such high temperatures. This oversight is precisely why she is advocating for this bill. By officially classifying extreme heat as a major disaster, communities would gain access to essential federal funding to better prepare for and respond to future heat waves. On July 7, 2024, a weather station at Harry Reid International Airport recorded an unprecedented temperature of 120 degrees, marking the hottest day ever for the city. The summer of 2024 has officially gone down in history as the hottest for Las Vegas. Joining Senator Rosen in this legislative effort are Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego from Arizona and Democratic Representative Sylvia Garcia from Texas. But here's where it gets controversial. Should extreme heat be considered a major disaster on par with hurricanes and floods? What are your thoughts on this proposal? Do you agree with Senator Rosen's initiative, or do you see potential drawbacks? Share your opinions and join the conversation.